straightforward one. The question is this phrase x plus 2 a factor of this polynomial? Okay, so this is a binomial. Binomial. Bi meaning two. Okay, we talked about nomials. Is the name. Nome. A name is the term is like the term, the name. So these are two terms because remember, terms are combined with addition, or excuse me, with multiplication and division. And then separation of terms is addition and subtraction. So the question of this being a factor of this depends on if we can divide through polynomial long division and there is no remainder. Okay? That's the essence of the question. Okay? So let's set up polynomial long division. So I'm going to have to write tiny, so I hope you can see it. Maybe you'll have to zoom in here. Can I zoom in? Oh, full screen, baby, full screen. But we will be able to see up close, but we won't be able to see everything. So x plus 2 is out here. And inside we have the whole long polynomial. Here, we'll make this black. Okay, so this is the polynomial, right? X plus 2, it goes outside. This is the binomial, excuse me, this is the division, and this goes on the inside, and this is our division bar, right? Right, we can see this lovely bad boy is our division bar, like we learned in 5th grade, okay? Okay, I'm going to erase this underline so it doesn't get in the way. So now we just approach it one at a time. Okay, so it's the exact same as division, but we just have variables. So remember, if we have no remainder, that means it's a factor, but we still have to do the division, even though they didn't ask us for the answer to the division. We still have to do it. So you're asking yourself now, what do we multiply x by to get 2x cubed? Okay, well, we multiply by 2x squared, right? So 2x squared times x, 2x squared times x is 2x cubed, and you put it here because this is just like division. Now, and then now this goes into this column. Oh shoot, you know what? We didn't start, but we're actually okay here, is that we have cubed, squared, single, and constant. Okay, you have to get your columns. This is like saying the ones, the tens, the hundreds, and the thousandth place, okay? So now you take 2x squared and you multiply it by the 2. Well, that is positive 4x squared. Okay, now I like to do it this way. Your teacher might do it a different way, but this is the way I'm going to do it. Now, just like division, you subtract, but you're subtracting the whole thing. Okay? So yes, you subtract this, but that means this becomes a minus. It becomes a subtraction. You distribute the negative. Okay? You probably might say, okay, Ms. Thompson, why did you do that extra step? I do the extra step because it actually helps me make sure that I keep my sign. So 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. Negative 7x squared minus 4x squared is negative 11x squared. Just like long division, you take the next thing down. There we go. Okay? Now we ask ourselves, what do we multiply x by to get negative 11x? Well, we multiply it by negative 11x, negative x squared. Negative x squared. So negative 11x times x is negative 11x squared. Negative 11x times positive 2 is negative 22x. Are you with me? I need to go a little like narrower so you can see the whole thing, okay? Now, just like before, we're subtracting. So it changes every sign. This becomes a plus. And again, other teachers do it differently. I get that. I have always done it this way because it helps separate the step, separate what's actually going on. Because if you automatically swap this over, you might get confused of what's happening. In my brain, everything goes back to a Rubik's Cube, okay? You make one move at a time and you're clear on what the move is. So you actually don't have to write this anymore, but that's what's happening. So now, negative 11x plus 11x is 0. That's what you wanted. Negative 14x plus 22x, okay? So it's the difference, which is subtraction at its core of 22 and 14, right? You can swap this. So you get, it's basically 22 minus 14, which is 8x, positive. And we bring this down, negative 5, okay? Now you ask yourself one last time, let's go back to our purple. What do you multiply x by to get 8x? Well, you multiply by 8. 8 times x is 8x, positive 8x. We don't write it because it's implied. 8 times 2 is positive 16. Okay. Already, I know that I have a remainder. Why? Because these two things are not the exact same, are they? When we subtract them, we end up with 0 and negative 21 is the remainder. Okay? But this becomes a fraction. Remainder. But we can have no remainder for this to be a factor. So to answer the question, is x plus 2 a factor of this? And the answer is no. Now, I probably could have guessed that it wouldn't because this is an even number. And this one is a prime. So whatever we had, we were going to end in we were always destined to end in an even number. But your teacher over here, Miss Thompson, has been doing this literally for 40 years. So I can see it, and it's a little easier for me. Does that help? So the answer is no, not a factor. Please don't forget to actually answer the question. I get that this was the bulk of the work, right? Was doing the polynomial long division. That's the bulk of the work. But the question was, is it a factor? No. No. Kaplink, kaplunk, kaplunk. You guys did a great job. I hope you could hear me. I have my little awesome mic. Miss Thompson is always here for you. Have a good night.